This is David Allen, and we've been talking about a very important subject. And please listen well, because our research shows that you're involved in this as well. It takes a lot of insight to recognize that all of us have codependency. We want to please somebody, or please something, or do something to feel better about ourselves, get a new car, sometimes take a drug, get a new girlfriend, get a new boyfriend, get a new house, join a new group so we could really be in the in-group. We all have that desire. And some of us almost destroy our life to please people. The question now is, Marie, how do we treat codependency?
Well, the first step, as I said, is awareness, right? Awareness. And you cannot bring anyone to awareness who's not ready. It's so frustrating to see loved ones going through something where you see them in a codependent or dysfunctional place, and you want to just shake them, you want to just take them out. They have to realize it for themselves. You can talk to them, you can share your concerns, but literally it's expressed again when those scales fall off their eyes. You can't unsee what you've now seen. And you have to be gentle with that person, because the denial has been broken. They've realized this trying to keep the cover on the boiling pot is no longer working. Life is about to explode, and so they're feeling very vulnerable. So support at that point is hugely important. Come to a family group, come to a therapist, someone you trust. Very important. It's not something you can do by yourself.
Marie, what produces awareness?
Awareness is when life has become unmanageable. It's out of control. And it's either that, or you're going to die, or you're going to kill someone.
And that's been our experience. I know when a gentleman told me, Doc, it took me illness to learn stillness. Sometimes the breakup of a marriage. Sometimes the breakup of a relationship. Sometimes the loss of a job. Sometimes the loss of a family member shocks us into realizing that we have to claim our authority and hold our authority and not just give it away and please people. But when awareness comes, that's the first step to healing. Are you aware tonight that you're a pleaser? Are you aware that you're tolerating something you shouldn't be tolerating? Are you aware that you're giving your authority away day by day? Yes, you have a good job. Yes, you have a good family. But what about you? Are you the person that you're supposed to be, made in the image of Almighty God? Or do you just live your limitations and never think of your potential? You're special. You're somebody. But unless you claim that, you're living a codependent lifestyle. So awareness is number one.
Awareness is number one. My life has become unmanageable. I can't do myself. I'm aware. Next step is surrender and letting go. I can't do this on my own. I need some help. I'm letting go of the need to control. It's a process. It's not overnight. I'm realizing I have human rights. We forget that we have human rights. I have the Bill of Human Rights on my fridge. You have the right to change your mind. Where did we lose that? We're allowed to say, nope, that didn't work so well. I get to change.
You have the right to say no.
You have the right to say no. N-O.
N-O. No is a full sentence. No.
Yeah.
Yet so many people in our world can't say no.
No.
They feel they have to please everybody. And anybody who pleases everybody is a big nobody. You have to learn to say no.
Absolutely.
That's a full sentence.
Yep. So getting back to your basic human rights, standing up for yourself, surrendering and letting go, realizing you have to give it to a power bigger than yourself. So awareness, surrender and control, understanding your attachment. Attachment is very tricky with codependency. Attachment is key when we're babies. Right? Ideally, we're attached to our mother, we're attached to our father, a healthy attachment. What happens with codependency is attachment becomes unhealthy. You're attached so much you don't know where you end and the other person starts. You're enmeshed. You're overly involved. You're no longer an individual. And so because when you see them suffering or them making bad choices, it's like you're making the bad choices as well. You're not able to put that boundary up. So that attachment that once might have been healthy in some areas has now become completely unhealthy. So part of recovery is understanding that this attachment is not healthy. And the only way to do that is to disattach. And a lot of people are scared of that because it sounds like, oh, that means I'm cold. That means I'm not loving. No, it's not. It's about taking a break away, detaching, detachment of your emotions so you can figure out yourself again. So realizing, and again, this is a process, doesn't happen overnight. Realizing your attachment, which you thought was positive, is actually getting in the way. When your attachment becomes obsessive, when you can't think about anything else, when you're realizing you're controlling so much that you're losing control, that's when you know it's a negative attachment, when it's one-sided. Codependents react. They overreact, they underreact, but they rarely act. They rarely do the actual behavior. They overreact to go crazy, la 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 la. They underreact, just passive, hoping it goes away, but they rarely just take a good assertive action. And so part of that is learning how to not react immediately. You're allowed to say, you're allowed to respond. You're allowed to say, I need some time to think about that. I don't know how I feel about that right now. I need time to process it. We're so used to feeling like we have to give an answer immediately because we feel pressured.
The only emergency in life is death. And thank God that's going to happen to all of us who would want to stay here forever. But the point I'm making is this. You don't have to react when people force you to do things. You could say, I need time. I need time to think about what you said. I need time before I sign this piece of paper. Yeah. I need time before I make decisions. You have time. If you're codependent, you believe you don't have time. Right. That's a lie. That means you need to work on yourself. You can say, no, let me think about it. Let me take this and rework it. You could even change your mind. You have a right to change your mind. That's your God-given heritage. But Marie, it's so difficult for people to accept that.
That's why we need support. When, as you always say, break once, it's easy to break one stick, hard to break 10. Right. When you have a group of people that you're meeting with every week who is supporting you and working you through it and are sharing their own struggles with it, it becomes so much more powerful because it is who we are made to be. Independent individuals. Interdependent, yes, relationships, but God wants us to be individuals. He wants us to be our own self. We are His children. He wants us to wear a crown and be strong and proud. He doesn't want us to be weak and no authority, and He doesn't want that. So actually, when you're in a situation where you're feeling empowered and you're sharing your story, it starts feeling intrinsically true. Your true self starts coming out and you start saying, this is what was missing. I remember going underneath the sea a couple of years ago after I had gotten out of a difficult situation where I was being very codependent. And I remember going underneath the water and in the coral reefs that I went back to immediately when I was 6 years old, and we would go underwater the coral reefs, and the fish and the coral and the nature and the calmness and the peaceness of the sea. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, I'm back. This is what was missing for however many years. This is what I'm missing. So it's amazing. It might seem so difficult when you're in the situation, but I promise you, if you will stick with it, if you will get the support, if you will break free, you will discover yourself again. And that person is beautiful, and then that's where you can find your purpose. You're not gonna develop your full potential while you're in a relationship or if you're codependent on a drug or on a job or what have you. It's only when you're able to break free, find your individual true self, that you're going to really accomplish what you need to accomplish.
But Marie, letting go is very hard. Letting go is very, very hard.
No one said it's easy. It's very hard, and that's why so many people don't do it, because they don't know what's on the other side of it. That's where faith comes in. You can only detach if you have faith that it will be better on the other side, because none of us have a crystal ball. I can't guarantee what's going to happen. It's going to have painful days. It's going to have hard days. The only way is faith that it's going to be better, and realizing that if you continue the way you're going, it's not going to end well. Whether it's a panic attack, nervous breakdown, you're not going to survive it.
This is so important, fellow Bahamians. In my time of 45 years in the field in many different countries, the difficulty of people letting go of a negative or bad situation is so difficult. And I've seen that situation kill people. Some people prefer to die than let go. Please tonight, if you're in a negative situation, if you're being codependent on a bad relationship, you're being abused and hurt, that is not you. That is not God's will for your life. Call somebody. Call us. In our family, we have so many positive results of people who were living terrible lives. When they came to the family and had the support of a group around them, And he would even go to the police station with them, would go to the lawyer with them, who will stand with them, who will join a WhatsApp group with them. And we see them break free of their codependency and live free. Please call us. You can call the family office, 698-0155. You can call our office, 327-8719. But please don't listen to this program and walk away and live in bondage, because the decision you make tonight may change your life. If you don't let go, you could be destroyed. And here's another secret. If you don't let go, your kids won't learn to let go. Right. So you go down, and they go down as well.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah.
So Marie, letting go, once they do that, then it's a kind of practice too, right?
Yes.
So breaking codependency is not an event. It's a process.
It's a process. It's a process, and that's where the final stage of commitment comes in. You're committed to the journey of it. Because we have different personality types. You know, some of us are more people-pleasing, and so sometimes it takes more strength to be assertive. It doesn't necessarily come naturally. So it takes some practice in learning and testing yourself in the little things. Finding ways to take power and authority back over little things can turn into the big things. I'll give a personal example. At one point I was feeling very weak in my own sense of vulnerability and what have you, and I'd gone to this massive conference in Orlando, and I just was feeling a little panicky and didn't feel my normal confidence level, but I was really thirsty, and I wanted a bottle of water from the driver of this bus, but I just, for some reason, I just felt the panic was too much. I couldn't do it, but I forced myself to ask for that bottle of water. As simple as that sounds, and it sounds almost ridiculous now, and if you know me, it's silly, but at the time, that was such a key thing that I did, and just getting that bottle of water and asking for it out of the blue in front of all these people, I started getting my power back, and within 2 days, I was back to my normal self. So sometimes you just, as little as it seems, when you're feeling so vulnerable, so alone, so unsure of what the next step is, finding little ways to gain your power back, little ways to gain your authority back, little ways of taking your adequacy back, starts building and building and building, and then you're able to do the big things.
And don't be afraid to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Nobody ever accomplishes everything in one full swoop. You got a big bill? Pay a little something on the bill. Take baby steps. Don't be afraid to take baby steps. Don't try, and if you can't take a big step, don't take no steps. Take a baby step, and another baby step, another baby step, and eventually you will break your codependency. We're going to take a break and be right back.